Lecture. Read, not watch. The tragedy of hedgehogs in the fog, navigating their lives. The tragedy of clip thinking and watching too much of YouTube. If you are looking for your own way, I'll help you find it. A person has the right not to read. And there are other rights as well. But rights are not given, they should be taken. I don't want to get the specifics of whether it's good or bad. I know for a fact that reading is infinite, and it is equal to the timing of a human life. People don't know how much time and work it takes to learn to read. To read a book, which is as old as 600 years. A book is the highest achievement of culture. For me as a reader, a book is, if you will, a conversation partner, a time machine, a textbook of life. The greatness of literature is that it leaves a person within the framework of culture. This is noble. But it gives them all degrees of freedom, all rights. The right to read or not to read, the right not to finish reading, the right to reread, the right to read any random thing, the right to keep silent about what you have read. I've listed different reading options, but most importantly, reading is a huge labor. Reading is physiologically, intellectually, and morally difficult. It is so much easier to watch. That's where the trouble lies. If we have to choose between a good book and silly movie or TV series or YouTube videos, we prefer the latter a lot more often than we would like to admit. You have to get meanings and images out of words. Reading is a great provocator. It provokes you to create your own reality in your head. Movies or videos bring up global laziness of the soul, of the conscience, of the brain. A person who gets used to images starts demanding a change of pictures. The conflict between words and pictures has escalated to the extreme and has taken on very acute forms. Which part will win, no one knows. I think the ways of resolving the conflict are hidden in the darkness of the future. But we do have to fight. An example, an interview with a famous actress. She is asked a question. What do you like doing in your spare time? Answer, in my spare time, I like watching movies. I like the old ones, Soviet movies. And oh, the horror! Not a word that she reads or loves to read. She has turned out the lights where the books are. She has off the light. That's it, one less problem. And one more example. Light, Nabokov. Darkness, and suddenly one light bulb lights up. It's Pushkin. The second bulb, it's Gogol. The third bulb, it's Chekhov. And suddenly the brightest light, it's Leo Tolstoy. Nabokov turned it on. But she has turned it out. And this is already a surgical operation. It hurts, or rather it hurts afterwards. And our hedgehogs already have something cut off. What is missing? You don't have the organ for feeling. Those who do visual implementations get this organ removed. And the younger a person is, the earlier they are on the table, the more likely it is that someone will cut out that organ. That's it, kids. A famous Russian scientist was asked, what words should be in the epitaph? dedicated to people of the late 20th century. She replied, "We weren't thinking well." And what about pictures? The brain stops thinking, fantasizing. The thought fuse stops flowing. And then there is a boundary between words and pictures that we cannot cross. What is to be done? There is another favorite question. Who is to blame? So, who is to blame? My hint, if you will. No violence against a person. We ask the question, what for? If we know the answer to that question, then we know the answer to the question, how? There are status questions. Carry them with you, and the fog will begin to clear away. That's the way the world works. The iconic British fashion designer Vivienne Westwood said, "The young need discipline and a full bookcase. A status symbol is a book. A very easy book to read is The Catcher in the Rye. Walk around with that under your arm, kids. That is status." Another example. Edvard Limonov, Diary of a Loser. It's a book for adults, but you are adults. There are no prohibitions. That's status, too. It's my opinion. If there is a constipation of the stomach, the doctor will help. And what about the constipation of the brain? Brain salad surgery? My answer is, it's better to be your own doctor. And then there won't be no clue. Read and that's all. And then you will understand and learn a simple truth. Everything that happens in life has long been described in literature. A research has showed how reading fiction affects a person's vocabulary. You should learn to speak correctly and beautifully. For a person who has read Dickens, to shoot someone of his kind in the name of an idea is more difficult than for a person who hasn't read Dickens. You can choose any option you like. There is no punishment for not reading. It's not a crime. There is no prosecution for it. But there is a greater crime: neglecting books, not reading them. A person pays for this crime with their own life. If a nation commits this crime, it pays for it with its history. Let's be thinking well. What do I want? I say loudly, don't interrupt me in a hurry. And where are you hurrying to? I'm in a hurry. I really want to read this story. That's pretty good. Not bad for a start. It's an amazing loneliness. I agree. Let it be an audiobook as well. I don't mind. Reading doesn't give a person an absolute explanation of their destiny, but it accurately establishes the contact between them and life. And for some people, life is a paradoxical happiness of being, and for others, it's a tragic absurdity. And everything you read stays there inside forever. Silentium, the poem of a great Russian poet, Fyodor Tyutchev. No word, keep secret and withhold your feelings and your dreams untold. But in your deepest soul of all, permit their rising and their fall, like stars that shine at night unheard. Just contemplate them and no word. How can the soul itself impart? How can another read your heart and comprehend the how and why? A thought once uttered is a lie. So leave the crystal springs unstirred. Be nourished by them and no word. Within yourself, then learn to live. The soul that lies within can give a word of secret magic joys. They would be drowned by outer noise. by light of day, dispersed unheard, attend their singing, and no word. Maybe the most important right that we have is the right to keep silent about what we have read. The one who has a cat have no fear of loneliness. The one who has books will never be alone. So once again, rights are not given, they should be taken. Take this right. It's your right to read, to see the world, to feel, to understand each other, to appreciate imagination. No one will ever take it away from you. A person who reads won't always be happy, but they will never be empty. This song is closely connected with my mind. Simon and Garfunkel, popular American singers. Bye bye love, bye bye happiness, hello loneliness, I think I'm gonna cry. Bye bye love, bye bye sweet caress, hello emptiness, I feel I could die. But I don't want. Luck loves a prepared mind. Reading will help. And not only that. Year 1974. My story. To literature through music. Rock music, classical music, and books. A strange and surprising combination. There is a certain pattern to this strangeness. Popular rock group, British group, Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Album, Pictures at an Exhibition. Russian composer Mussorgsky. Then his famous opera, classical opera, Boris Godunov. Then famous drama written by Pushkin, Boris Godunov. Then figure of great Russian singer Shalapin, etc. To be continued. It's good, turn on. That's it. Thank you for your attention.